So for some reason, my camera decided to go completely black, and the last video ended rather abruptly. So this is a continuation of that one. I want to just demonstrate, this is going to be very short because I was getting close to being done with that previous video. I want to just demonstrate using what we just said about the cotangent equations in this particular example. So I actually would encourage you guys, see if you can take this equation and figure out how to solve it yourselves. So pause this, even though I just started, and see if you can actually find the solution to this thing. And then let's take a look now at how we can do this. So I can turn this into cotangent squared t is equal to 1/2. This means that cotangent t is equal to plus or minus the square root of 1/2. And this is the same thing as plus or minus 1 over the square root of 2. So this is going to be plus or minus square root 2 over 2. Now, be careful here. This is something that you should recognize when you were thinking about trig functions, but this is not a value that we know for some angle for cotangent. It's actually, these are values we know for sine and cosine, but not for tangent or cotangent. Okay, so don't be confused by the fact that this square root 2 over 2 is showing. Don't just think, oh, we should know exact values for t here. That would be true if we had, say, sine of t is equal to square root 2 over 2. That would be at pi over 4 and at 3 pi over 4. This is cotangent, so different story. So what we're going to get then is that t is equal to plus or minus cotangent inverse, or what am I doing there? No plus or minus is out front. It's just t equals cotangent inverse of plus or minus square root 2 over 2 plus pi times k. Okay. We've seen this kind of thing before. We've seen this kind of thing when we were dealing with the other trig functions. This is kind of the same deal over again. So, make sure that you look through your book and look at the different rules for sine, cosine, secant, cosecant, and remember that you can change problems with secants and cosecants into sine and cosine problems if you want to. And finally, the rules for tangent and cotangent. And remember, the most complicated one is the sine, and cosine is easier, and then tangent and cotangent, they have kind of the simplest case. Okay, so again, sorry, this is really short because I meant for this to be in the previous video, except that the camera blacked out, and yeah, I don't know what happened, but I had to restart the computer. Anyway, please do let me know if you have any questions about this stuff. Come to my office hours, email me, and we can set up a time to meet on Blackboard Collaborate or something, and I can answer whatever questions you might have. But in the meantime, I hope that you guys have a nice weekend. This will be the last video for this week.